that probably one of the most difficult entry activities ever done has just been accomplished successfully, because otherwise the parachute would not have triggered the transmitter, and the transmitter would not be sending a signal. That signal has been solid for 2 hours, and it's continued as the station at Canberra set, and we're now, excuse me, not at Canberra, I'm sorry, at Greenbank. And we're now hoping that we'll get a message that the signal has risen at Parkes. I don't have any personal confirmation of that yet. That'll be more difficult. That's a smaller antenna. But the other thing that I don't think we ought to miss is the fact that this whole activity of looking for this signal by radio telescope is just another indication of the worldwide excitement about this mission. And I, as Jean-Jacques has said, am pleased that all of you are here to share it with us. And so with that, I will turn it over to Jean-Pierre Le Breton.
Well, I'm just getting updated as to what I'm going to say. Okay, so let me say first what I know for sure. I mean, we had a successful entry, it's very clear. We have deployed at least one, probably 2 parachutes. So the probe is, we had to go through those steps to transmit. The probe is transmitting. And in fact, I'm just getting updated that we have got the Doppler signal from the Greenbank telescope all the way through 1210, which is 1:10 local time here, probably. And within a few hertz of the model. So this is really good news. We cannot say more than this, but the probe has been transmitting for 2 hours. It has now been acquired in Australia. So first, Hobart. We cannot say more. And Parkes, by the way, the telescope, which was a subject of the movie The Dish, has just acquired the probe. It has started, sorry, I cannot say yet. Maybe Leonid Gervitz can say more if there is a question. It should have acquired at 13:30 local time. So we clearly have an engineering success. We still have to wait a bit more, but we are going to work very hard to convert this engineering success into a scientific success. Give us a few hours to give you a little of the data, but we are going to work very hard this evening and tomorrow and this night to give you as much as to tell you as much as we can tell. So with this, I'd like to pass the floor to Claudio Solazzo.
Okay, well, after this piece of news, I think we all are very much happier than even we were before. But all I want to tell you now is what happens in the next few hours. The first real probe telemetry will come down to us here at the main control room at about 16:21. But before we can see mission-specific or mission-relevant data, we have to wait for 45 minutes because this covers the time during which the receiver has collected data while the mission had not already started. So the first probe data will touch the ground here at Darmstadt at 17:15. And the first bit that we will receive is the history of what has happened during the entry. And after that, we will slowly receive more and more information about the mission, and we will receive the signals from each instrument, which will reflect the fact that they are alive and doing the job that they are supposed to do. At 1900, so at 7 p.m. tonight, all the data from the mission will have been acquired, and that is the time when the data will be again released to our scientists, and that's when the scientific work really starts. What I want to say is the data is coming down in batches. It's for us, it's a bit like when you collect pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, and then you have to put it all together, and only at the end you see the figure, the image, and this is what we will do. So before 1900 tonight, the puzzle will not be complete. And after that, when we will see the picture, it's a picture that needs then to be interpreted, and this is what our scientists will do. So this is what will happen in the next few hours, and at the moment I have nothing else to say, and Jocelyne, I'll leave you to
Thank you, Claudio. See, if I summarize, we have an engineering success, we even have a baby, and we have had, I don't know how many international babysitters. It's probably to be the most international baby we've ever had. So it's now time for question. Please use the mic and announce your media.
Hi, I'm with Discovery Channel Canada. I was just wondering, I understood that at Mauna Kea in Hawaii, they were going to see if there was any visual indication of the probe entry. I wonder if you've heard anything from Mauna Kea.
Well, we had 4 observations, I think 2 or 3 in Hawaii. And we know one could not take place because the weather was not good, but the 3 observations have taken place, and so far we have no positive report. So the observations have been made, but have been updated a few minutes ago. There is no indication of the entry fireball.
Next question. No? Yes, Mr. Fisher?
I've heard a rumor that there's actually some indication on the carrier received from Green Bank that there's actually data in the stream. Can you confirm this, that there's anything, I mean, that is not a pure carrier, but there's something in it?
Okay, yes. Very good question, in fact. Indeed, we can almost say now that one of the experiments is getting data, that's the Doppler wind experiment. It's getting data, in fact, on the line of sight between the probe and the orbiter, but also on the line of sight between the probe and the Earth. So congratulations to the Doppler wind experiment, Mike Bird. You have got data.
The mic is there on the side. Here, over here.
Henry Bortman, Astrobiology Magazine at astrobio.net. Following up on that, if you have that data, can you tell from that to what extent the parachute's deployed as expected?
Not at this point, no. No, we can't. I mean, we did not look at, we really need to look at the data in more detail.
Hi, Discovery Canada again. Just wondering if the Parkes signal, if it continues until, overlapping the time of your expected touchdown, whether it will be able to tell the difference between whether Huygens is descending or actually sitting on the surface.
Well, maybe I could defer the detailed question answer to Leonid Gurevich, but I think the answer is yes. And for sure, what I expect to see from the signal received from Parkes is a probe dying, because at a certain point, it's going to cease transmitting, and I expect we shall see the signal disappearing at this point in Parkes data.
All right, you're just listening to Jean-Pierre Le Breton, project scientist for the Huygens space probe project as well.